Alrighty guys, welcome back to another one. In today's breakdown video, we're doing a breakdown on the first RST shell we've ever done. And this happens to be 16 gauge, 2.5 inch, 1 ounces of lead number 5 shot. Now I've had these since 2019, and I bought these thinking it was bismuth. How I thought that, I don't know, but it's clearly not bismuth. I bought them because, well, it was an oddball shell, 16 gauge, 2.5 inch. You don't see that hardly ever in person, so I figured why not grab these just for the collector's value. Then realizing that RST is, well, it's a company that makes low pressure shells for old vintage guns. I thought this was a really rare box of shells. No, it's standard production. So it's November 5th as of this recording, and it's about 80 degrees out here and really, really bright. In fact, it's so bright out here, it's kind of hard to sit and film. If we look at the tree line, you'll notice a lot of the trees still have some of the leaves on them. Normally, in this part of Kentucky around this time of year, all of the trees are completely bare, aside from the trees that still have green on them naturally. Well, this year's not like that. This may sound really stupid, but eventually I think around this part of the country we're gonna have winter in the summer and summer in the winter, because when I was growing up about 15 years ago is when I want to say this started happening, we would have snow on the ground this time of year, and now it's hot all the way up until like January. Doesn't make any sense. And yes, I'm still sick, that's why my voice sounds awful. Anyway, back to the video. You can see what I gave for these right there, top left corner. Yeah, these are quite pricey. RST best grade, once again, 16 gauge, 2.5 inch, A5, I'm not sure what that means. 1200 FPS, 1 ounce of number 5 shot. The front of the box has a guy hunting with a side-by-side, it appears. Probably squirrel, maybe it's dove, I don't know. But anyway, the left side of the box, RST manufactures best grade, whatever that means, 2 inch, 2.5 inch, and premium 2 3/4 inch shot shells. They also manufacture 2 7/8 inch 10 gauge. Whether enjoying the soft recoil for clay targets or the superior patterning on upland game, RST shot shells will give you the best performance money can buy. To obtain good shooting, use good cartridges. Now, from everything I've heard and read, RST do make really good shells. The right side of the box says RST offers the widest range of loadings available for classic and older guns for shooters seeking low pressure, high performance with reduced recoil. The back of the box is actually fairly interesting. As you can see, they make everything. Although they don't have their 24 and 32 gauge ammo listed on the back of this, they do make those as well. So, full range of gauges. I see 410 is also not listed on here, but they do also offer that. So, in total, they offer 8 different gauges. 10 gauge, 2 7/8 inch, light, 1 1/8 ounce. It comes in 5, 6, 7.5, 8 shot. Again, 2 7/8 inch 10 gauge with 1 1/4 ounce of the same size. 12 gauge, 2.5 inch in multiple varieties, 1 ounce, and it goes down to even 3/4 ounce. Wow, Falcon ultralight. A 2 inch shell in 12 gauge with 7/8 ounce of shot. 16 gauge comes in 2.5 inch, 20 gauge, 2.5 inch, 28 gauge, 2.5 inch. And once again, they do offer 410, 24, and 32 gauge as well. And I'm 90% sure this is not all of their offerings, but that is a good showing of them right there. And all of these would be low pressure, safe for vintage guns. The bottom of the box is absolutely nothing. Wow, I'm really sorry for the white balance there. That was awful. But overall, it's a pretty good looking box. It has a lot to offer, especially the back of it has a good chart on it, I guess. But The shell, what color do you guys think these are? Keep in mind, this is 16 gauge, and a lot of 16 gauge is purple. Well, this is no different. This is also purple. I actually have quite a few. Look at my finger. I am sweating. It is that hot out here, and it's November. Anyway, what I was saying was I have a lot of these hulls. They are Shadot 2.5 inch lavender 16 gauge, and they are somewhat translucent. But it says, let's see, 16 gauge, best grade RST, 2.5 inch, 1 ounce, 5 shot, basic shotgun shell. No, that can't say basic. I don't know what that says. I grabbed another one that says Classic Shot Shell Company Incorporated. Yeah, Classic Shot Shell Company Incorporated. Okay. I don't know why that was so hard to read. Probably because it's so smudged. So I guess I do know why. But the crimp on these looks phenomenal. I would imagine they are using rotary crimpers like an OMB or a gat press. That is beautiful. Yes, there is a tiny hole in the middle of it, but this being a lead shell, it doesn't matter. That is very deep set, very round, very uniform. That is beautiful. We have a Shadot CX2000 primer. The head stamp is 16 gauge with stars, and this has an 8mm brass plated steel head on it. And once again, the color of this is called lavender, and it also is beautiful. But without further ado, let's crack this open and see how they put this together. I honestly have no idea. Okay, so we're going to start with the hull this time. Once again, it's just a 2.5 inch Shadot hull. You can actually get these exactly how you see it as a brand new primed hull, without the stamping, of course. But it has a low red base wad in there, and that is a CX2000 primer, as noted by the blue sealant. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. It's really bright out here, and my phone screen is kind of dark. But yeah, just a Shadot hull. Now, going over the stuff right here, I don't know what this is. It is a it's a gray flake powder with yellow dots in it. I honestly have no idea what this is, but let's weigh it. And this appears to have 17.2 of whatever this is. Once again, it's a gray flake top powder. Looks sort of like something a lion would make, with yellow lime, I don't know, colored flakes in it. They're not green, but they're not exactly just straight yellow either. The wad in this one is the SG16S wad. Please excuse that. The SG16S has these stems in the bottom of the powder reservoir. The regular SG16 has more of those, but these are intended for use in shorter hauls. The shot cup is rather puny. It doesn't hold much lead. I think it's just 3/4 ounce, if I'm not mistaken. But it's not a bad wad. It's just not a great wad if you want really tight patterns. This one obviously spreads out a little bit faster. But the really good thing about it is it fits a 2.5 inch shell really nicely. It doesn't come up quite where a full length for a 2.5 inch wad should, the shot cup anyway. And well, it makes a really nice clay shooting wad, I'll say that. Interestingly enough, this side is still stitched, whereas the other side isn't. Weird. And here's the number 5 lead shot. It appears to be number 5 to me. I hope you guys can see it well. Once again, it's kind of hard to see my phone screen out here, but let's take a better look at it and then weigh if it's actually an ounce or not. Or let's see if it's actually an ounce or not. And once again, those are very, very nicely polished round pellets. They all appear to be the same size. I see nothing weird going on here. That's actually some really nice looking shot. Let's weigh it. And sadly, this is a bit shy of 1 ounce at 0.989. It's just 3 or 4, maybe 5 pellets shy. Nothing to really be concerned about there. These are done on machines. I would have to guess. And as we know, machines are not as accurate as people can be. The next one I open up of these could be 1 ounce, could be 1.01, could be 0.97. They can vary that much. Even a company like RST we see variances in, you know, advertised shot weights. Okay, so all in all, this is extremely simple. Just a little bit of, you know, the dusty stuff right here, a wad, shot, crimp. That's really all it is. You can put these together very, very easily and cheaply. But RST does make a good shell. Anyway, let's slap this back together and see if I can make it look presentable. And here it is put back together. As you can see, it went back together just fine. The crimp actually appears to be somewhat tighter than it was out of the box. The hole is, well, it's gone, mostly. But you can see it is nicely uniform on top. Not wavy at all. I like it. Alright, so maybe you can hear my son in the background there. These are pretty cool, although I will say, once again, you can put these together yourself for, well, quite cheaply. These are really nothing all that special. Maybe the number 5 shot is. That's kind of hard to find in 16 gauge, but if you look, it's not that hard. But the only thing really special about these is they're a 2.5 inch shell and low pressure. That's what you're paying for. But there it is, guys. RST 2.5 inch 16 gauge 1 ounce number 5 shot, 1200 FPS. Hope you enjoyed it. More RST to come. But yeah, we'll see you in the next one.